There's one thing missing from the original iRig keys. It was full-size keys. Now IK Multimedia has taken care of that with the iRig Keys Pro. Hi, it's Mike from Gear Diary, and like I say, looking here at the iRig Keys Pro. So what this is, similar to the iRig Keys, 37 notes keyboard interface, set up to interface iPad is kind of the original, the reason, but it also comes with 30-pin for other iOS devices as well as a USB connector so you can use it on a Mac, for instance. But probably the most useful thing that you're going to find is this thing weighs next to nothing, very light, portable, not a lot to it. It really is just a keyboard, and because it comes right to the end, it's touchable. With, on there you have your pitch and modulation wheels, 3 octaves plus 1. And again, it just works straight through, and I have it plugged in, or actually I don't have it plugged in, I just have the freestanding iLoud, Bluetooth to my to the iPad Air, which is then physically connected over the Lightning connector, to the back of the iRig Keys Pro. Now that really is, it's a very simple description that it is just full-size keys, otherwise it's the same, but that's really ultimately true, that it's that you have the keys, you have all the functionality here, and if you have octave switches, and as you go through those, they'll light up and they'll actually tell you, they'll blink the number of times that it's a down octave. So now when there's nothing there, you're just in natural C position, and you can go from there. So now let me switch over to something a little bit different. Now on this one, this is called Sunriser Synth that I'm using. This is a totally different package, but you can control just about anything. In this case, I actually have low-pass filters with modulation going through and some resonance on those filters, so the modulation wheel in that case actually controls the filters. In standard keyboards, you might hear it control just the vibrato, the oscillation there, and always the pitch wheel is just assigned the pitch wheel. The other thing that you have on here, you do have control sets. So that here I've got 1 through 4. I don't have this set up to anything at this point, but that would be for performance. That you can say, okay, I want to have setup number 1, 2, 3, 4, and you might have multiple mappings across the keyboard. You have a data thing in case you want to actually move these individual things up and down, or if I just want to come back and go to, I'm just going to go to a nice, that reminds me of a Roland type of a sound, and then so again, this is as much of me playing around with the Sunriser Synth as anything else. It's such a musical synth, I end up just always doing this with it. But the thing with the iRig Keys Pro that I like is that it falls in between something like I have an Axiom Pro, which has weighted keys and weighs a considerable amount. It weighs like 6 or 7 pounds, and it's also only a 2-octave keyboard, so it weighs twice as much as this, and it's only 2 octaves, but it is weighted. These are non-weighted keys. These are just full-size keys like on a normal synth keyboard, but compared to the iRig Keys, it is a little bit larger than that in order to have the full-size keys. In fact, the iRig Keys would probably stop right around here. I haven't actually measured one against the other, but you have the spacing difference, So you have a few inches longer down here, as well as about an inch or so longer that way. And it probably weighs about 25% more. Again, I haven't done that quantitatively, that's just based on the feel. But this thing can still fit into a backpack or stick out of a backpack probably a little bit, whereas the iRig keys would fit into it. But if you take a look at my table here, what I have is the iPad, the iLoud, and the iRig Keys Pro. And suddenly I have a nice little musical setup with only one little cable. And again, it comes with the cables for other devices, depending if you need to hook it up to an older iPad or a Mac is something that control over USB. And the price differential between iRig Keys and iRig Keys Pro is $20. It's $129 is the current price, at least what I saw in IK Multimedia for the iRig Keys, $149 for the iRig Keys Pro. And if I'm wrong on that, it will be within the review and I'll put it in the description as well. But it's a really functional keyboard, and it hooks right into whatever keyboard program you're using. And that's one of the reasons I didn't choose an IK Multimedia package. I wanted to make sure just to show, hey, you're sticking it into just some app. This isn't a big name thing. It's very well reviewed, but it's not a big name app. So it's one that somebody made with no knowledge of this, and it's just a controller. It's just something that through the iOS software uses those interfaces to control this and works great. So IK Multimedia iRig Keys Pro. Look for the links in the description. This is Mike from Gear Diary. Thanks for watching.